All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back. Happy New Year, January 2nd, and we got 12 games on the docket here tonight. Pretty good slate, lots of good spots to go, and we're going to do our best to talk through it here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, helps us out a ton, and yeah, let's jump right in. You know how it goes. I'm going to throw up the stone here over at SHIPIT Nation, and we're going to use that to break down this 12-game massive slate. If you are a member over here at SHIPITNation.com, number one, thank you for being a member. Number two, slate plan is already live. When you're watching this video, check it out. Go over there, read the slate plan. I went super in-depth. There's a lot of loaded ranges on the slate, especially in terms of the wing. The wing value from 4K to kind of 6K is absolutely loaded here tonight. And then in terms of spend-ups, we definitely have spend-ups in good spots here that you want to go to. Really good value at the defensive position again. Guys like Brandstrom, guys like Ty Smith again, Laurie from Boston. We'll get through it, but pretty good slate in general. Let's go ahead, talk about this first game here. Florida and Carolina here. Florida minus 125 favorites. Florida has won both contests this year, scoring a total of 12 goals in two matchups here against Carolina. Kochetkov here is going to be in net, and he just kind of got beat up a little bit against my Columbus Blue Jackets on the road. Now coming into Florida here, I think Florida's in a decent spot here just due to recent performance. Looking at the numbers here, with Barkov back, pretty good spot. Barkov's done pretty good this season against Carolina, so I definitely don't mind Florida in tournaments here. Not many people are going to go to them. They are kind of expensive overall. The Reinhart Barkov line is pretty expensive. Rodriguez does overall make it cheaper, so I don't mind that. And then the Chucky, Bennett, and E2 Luosterainen line is super cheap. But I think either one of those top two lines is definitely in play for me here tonight. Forsling's fine from a defense standpoint. Same with Ekblad. If you're looking for a really cheap guy like Adam Bovequist at 2.5K stone minimum is definitely a good play there. On the Carolina side, Ty Smith for me is a great option here. Running point on that top power play, scored last game here. I still think it's a solid spot for him. But outside of that, I'm not going to get to any of these Carolina guys. If I went to anybody, it'd be the Svech, Natchez, and Kotkaniemi line. Throwing a Ty Smith there, get some correlation on that power play. But I like Florida here to win this game. I think Florida's an interesting stack of tournaments at no ownership. And like I said, the last two meetings between these two squads this season, Florida has dropped 6 goals in each contest, one on the road, one at home here. So them being at home here, I like it even more. And, yeah, I think it's a pretty solid spot here overall. Next game on the slate here, I do have interest definitely in one side of this game here. I think Boston is in a pretty good spot here. Rangers have scuffled as of late. Jonathan Quick's going to be in net as well, which definitely makes me like Boston even more here. Looking at the numbers, Boston on the road, 5th best team in terms of expected goals against the 27th ranked Rangers on home ice in expected goals against. They allow a ton of shots. They allow the second most high danger chances, and they allow a lot of power play opportunities here. So I like Boston quite a bit here. Lindholm, Zacha, Pastrnak, Marchand, Charlie Coyle, and Morgan Geekie are kind of the main guys I'm looking at here. Charlie Mack is fine from a defensive standpoint, and then Mason Laurie as well. Like I mentioned earlier, 2.7K, punt D-man, getting power play time. I think he's definitely a good option there. Jeremy Swayman, fine in that mid-tier in terms of goalies as well. I like that. On the Rangers side here, Trocheck is a little too cheap in my opinion here. Against Swayman and the Bruins here. Swayman's definitely been leaky as of late, as you can see there. 89% save percentage, almost a 3-goal against average there. So Trocheck, Panarin, and Lafreniere, I think are definitely interesting. I would just stick to that top line if I'm going to the Rangers here. K'Andre Miller, I think, is a solid option as well at 2.9K, another punt demon that you can go there to save some salary there. But overall, definitely prefer the Boston side in tournaments. Boston, one of my top stacks on the slate here. Next game on the slate here, Wild and the Caps. This is a 5.5 total here. This should be a bruiser game. Both these teams are very good defensively here, especially with Ovi back for the Caps here. This game's a full fade for me. I'm not chasing Rossi after his kind of breakout game, last game there. Much better matchup there than he has here tonight. Overall, the only option I have in this game is Gustav. 7,100 is a joke for how good Gustav has been. Just had a massive game last game. Now gets another spot here in a 5.5 total. 7,100 is way too cheap there for him. So he's probably one of my favorite goalies on the entire slate. Jonas Brodin, really good option at 3,100. Brock Faber, 3,900, really good option. I prefer Faber and Brodin over Spurgeon here tonight, just at their salary discounts there. And then Ryan Hartman, Joe Hanson, and Eric Sinek, I think are solid options too if you're looking to get some cheap guys. But Hartman, 3,400, fine as a one-off. He can pair him up with a guy like Brock Faber. And, they're super cheap there. Done pretty well against Washington in the past contest as well. On the Cap side, not getting to really anyone here tonight. Like I said, I think this is more defensive focused. I like some of these D-men on the Wild side. If I had to pick a spot, I think the Wild win this game in general. Just looking at the Caps numbers, 26th in the league in expected goals against, whereas the Wild on the road are the third best defensive team in general. Caps do give up a decent amount of high danger chances, so would definitely prefer the Wild here, and I like the Wild to win the game, so give me Gus Bus in that at 7.1K. Next game on the slate, this is one of my favorite stacks here, Columbus. Columbus is on fire right now. They're a very good hockey team, and people sleep on them time in and time out again here. Line one for Columbus just continues to print money. Sean Monahan, Marchenko, Vornikov, Werenski. Play those four. I mean, as of late, if you played those four the last, 4 or 5 games, you're probably pretty happy with yourself. I'm going right back to the well. Really like Marchenko and Vornikov as a two-man stack if you don't want to add in Monahan, but I love all three of those guys. Werenski is definitely expensive, but you can play him in the utility spot and then use 2 other punt D-men to make it work. Basically play him as a wing or play him at the D-man position, and he can just dwarf that position easily. 38, 38, 7, and 25 are his last 4 games there. I think he's a great option. Really love the Blue Jackets here. I'm sticking to the top line mainly. You can add in Kent Johnson to get that power play correlation if you want, but I really like Marchenko a ton, Vornikov a ton, Monahan slightly behind those 2 guys, and then Werenski, one of my favorite spend-ups on the entire slate, regardless of position there. On the Red Wings side, not getting to anyone on the Red Wings side. I will say Lucas Raymond has done pretty good against the Blue Jackets here. It's a solid matchup overall. Blue Jackets games tend to shoot a little bit. As you can see, Elvis definitely pretty leaky in net here. So on the Red Wings side, if I'm going to anyone, it'd probably be the Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, top line, just those 2, or a Patty Kane, DeBrincat type stack, just 2-man mini stacks for me. They're not getting to anyone else there really on Detroit for me. Next game on the slate here, Toronto and the Islanders. I don't love this game a ton from a DFS perspective. I expect Toronto to and both of these teams basically to get a little bit of ownership just due to the Islanders price tags. I mean, everybody plays these Islanders every slate. I never play them. I don't love them, but looking at the numbers, Toronto's super leaky on the road, 28th in terms of expected goals against, 17th in actual goals against. So they just have not been very good defensively on the road. They give up a lot of shots, give up a lot of power play opportunities, and a lot of high danger chances. The only issue is 12-game slate. I just don't think the Islanders have the upside on this slate. They definitely have gotten worse, right, when you take Austin Matthews off the ice and opposing teams are interested in chasing him down, right, and following him around. You take him off the ice, they can focus more on a little bit of defense. You still got, obviously, Nylander, Marner, and Tavares there, but Austin Matthews makes that just much more lethal squad there. So full fade, basically, for me in this game. I think Joseph Wall is fine and Sorokin are both fine in net here, but I do like other goalies more than both of those. If you land at in kind of that mid-tier 7,700 for Wool is not the craziest play in the world. Not really much more going on in that game for myself. Taking me to the next game here, Stars and the Senators. I do like this spot quite a bit for Dallas at home here. Dallas has really good as of late. They're minus 200 favorites on the slate, and not a lot of ownership going to them. I mean, 10 to 12% is not much on a 12-game slate here. In general, I just don't really worry about ownership too much in terms of NHL here. But looking at the numbers, Dallas, really good spot here. Senators on the road this season, 75% penalty kill, 3.2 goals against the average expected, 29th in the league in terms of high danger chances. So give me Rupee Hintz, give me Duchesne, give me Wyatt Johnston, Robertson, Jamie Benn. Those 5 skaters have been on a tear right now. Really like all 5 of those guys again. Evgeny Dadonov, I just don't think he's a very good hockey player, but he's 3K. Expect him to get played definitely in that top line stack, but I would like leaving him off and adding in a guy like Jamie Benn. So going to Rupee Hintz, Jason Robertson, Jamie Benn, or a Wyatt Johnston instead of a Dadonov. Pay up a little bit, still get that power play correlation there, and you get a better skater in general. So I like the Stars a lot. Top 5 skaters for the most part: Hintz, Duchesne, Johnston, Robertson, Benn are guys I'm focused on. Stankoven's been not as great as of late, but he's really cheap if you pair him up with guys like Maverick Bourque and Stankoven there. Throw in a guy like Thomas Harley and get that second power play correlation there in the second line stack. I don't hate that, or the third line stack, excuse me. Good spot there. Senators, Jake Oettinger as well, fine option in that. One thing to note, I never get this dude right. Every time I played him, he's been horrendous, including his worst start in his career was one of the days I played him in, I think, the 121 single entry or something like that. He got me like minus 14 points, so that was really cool there. But, hey, I'll alert the Discord if I'm not playing him, so everybody else can kind of slam him there. On the center side, Pinto, fine option in terms of a value. Jake Sanderson, 4,500, fine option. Outside of that, not getting to really anyone here. It would just be the value guys like Claude Giroux, Riley Grieg, Pinto, and Sanderson. Just some guys that are underpriced here, but really don't want to attack Dallas offensively here. Dallas is pretty good, especially on home ice in terms of defense. A lot of the fifth league shots and things like that. So I think this is a very offensive-focused game on Dallas, and I expect them to score a lot of goals here for sure. Same thing with this next game here. This team's going to pick up more ownership than Dallas. Pretty equal spots for me. Like them both a lot. Jets, really good spot here at home. Jets, when you fly a jet with against a duck, the little exhaust from the jet's going to burn that duck up, make some duck soup here tonight. So I think we're eating duck soup in Winnipeg here tonight. So give me Scheifele, give me Kyle Connors, Vilardi, really that top line, really good stack there. Ehlers is back. Really like him a ton. And then Morrissey. So I'm sticking to the top line for the most part, top power play guys for the most part here in general. But this is really good matchup. I think any of these skaters are in play, depending on where you land in terms of salary. You can even go to the second line with Nemestikov, Ehlers, and Perfetti. And then Adam Lowry, Nino Niederreiter, and Alex Iafallo are also solid options too here. Jets are deep. Jets are a really good team in general. Ducks are terrible. The only hope they have is Dostal standing on his head like he did last game against Jersey. I just don't think he's going to do that two times in a row here. Dostal's been known to kind of own me here this season, but I do think it's actually going to be John Gibson as well in that, which makes me like Winnipeg even more. Even if it's Dostal, it's fine. Don't love it as much as I would against Gibson, but either way, they're really good options for sure. On the Ducks side, not get to anyone on the Ducks. Full fade for me. Hellebuck, really good option if you can get all the way up to him. I just never like spending up at goalie. Personally, it's the most volatile position on the slate. Next game, the Avs and the Sabres. This should be a smash spot here for the Avs. Ownership should spread out amongst these top favorites pretty evenly, so you don't really worry about ownership too much. Usually on a slate like this, McKinnon would be pushing 30%. I don't think he gets up there. I think he gets held right around that 20-ish% range, just at his price point. 10-3 is expensive. You can definitely make it work. I like McKinnon. I like Nichushkin. I believe one of these guys is going to be out here tonight. I think it's Nichushkin who got hurt last game. So I believe Valerie's going to be out. So watch for line shuffles here. I'll alert the Discord when they take the warm-ups and see what the line rushes look like here tonight. But Nichushkin did get injured last game, so I think he's out. But I do like Lakeinen a ton. I like McKinnon a ton. Rantanen's a little expensive. It's tough to play both of them guys. You kind of got to pick two at max between Makar, Rantanen, and McKinnon. I prefer just one of them, and I prefer McKinnon. Just he does everything. I mean, he can get you there on just shot volume alone. I mean, he's been known to go for double-digit shots on goal in a night there. So I like McKinnon a lot. Like I said, Lakeinen, I like a lot. Jonathan Drouin, really, really good value. I expect him to be pretty popular, but he's a good option there. Makar is fine if you can get up to him. I actually prefer Werensinski tonight here at a similar price point for $300 cheaper there. But yeah, it was a really good spot at home against the Sabres. Sabres can't stop anything. UPL has been actually pretty good in net, but I think he's under or outmatched here. But on the Sabre side, I do think this game gets up and down the ice just because I don't think Blackwood's very good in general. I get it. He's got a huge contract there. He's been decent for the Avs, but it helps when you have a way better offense in front of you, like the Avs, than you do when he was over in San Jose. But Tage Thompson has done pretty good against Colorado here, so I don't mind him. I don't mind Tuuk. Those guys are good. Jack Quinn is fine at his salary. He's been playing pretty good as of late. Do a little mini stack with Quinn, Peterka. Get two-man on that second power or that top power play and that second line. I don't mind that there. Rasmus Dahlin as a spend up, he's fine as well. But yeah, I like this game. I think it's a good game environment for DFS here. Definitely prefer the Avs, but nobody's going to play the Sabres on the other end. I have no interest in Blackwood at 8,300. I just don't think he's worth that price point in general. Next game on the slate here, Utah and the Flames. Flames have been pretty good as of late. They, especially their top line, Kadri line, has been firing pucks on net. Pospisil, Huberdeau, Kadri, really good options there. Backlund, Coronado, Blake Coleman, really good options as well. Zari at 3,500, good value there with Sharon Govich. Nice little two-man mini stack there. Third liners with that top power play. You can go Sharon Govich, you can go Connor Zari, and then add in like Mackenzie Weegar. Allows you to spend up at D-man when you're going two value guys there, get that power play correlation. But I do like the Flames to win this game here. In general, Dustin Wolf, fine option in terms of tournaments at 7,400. Veggie as well at 7,500. Not my favorite game on the slate, but for fillers, I definitely don't mind some of these Flames in terms of fillers, especially at their price points for sure. On the Utah side, full fade for me on Utah outside of a guy like Ian Cole, Ali Mata, just two spend down D-men in decent spots in decent projection or decent production as of late. So I don't mind those guys. Couple games left to talk about. Next game, Flyers and the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't have much interest in this game. I expect a decent amount of ownership to go to guys like Jack Eichel, Mark Stone in this game, Victor Olofsson. I think it's fine. I think they're fine options. I just don't love this game in general. This game is pretty much a fade for me. On the Flyer side, you can play a Michkov, you can play a Tippett, you can play a Konechny pretty much any time. Noah Cates has been pretty good. He's 2.7K. He's a fine value option there. Morgan Frost has been good, 3.7. He's a fine option there, but Aiden Hill's good. Vegas is pretty solid on home ice. Jack Eichel's fine, but I prefer other spend-ups. Mark Stone is fine, but I prefer other guys in that range. Olaf would probably be my favorite guy, but just don't love it in general from a DFS perspective. So 12 games, can't play them all. That's a game I'm underweight on. And could haunt me. They're minus 205 favorites, but as of the biggest favorites on the slate, Vegas is the one I'm least interested in for sure here tonight. Next game on the slate here, Vancouver and Seattle. I like the spot quite a bit for Vancouver's top line. Miller, Brock Besser, DeBrusk. Really like those guys a lot. They've destroyed Seattle, and Grubauer is just horrendous. So give me JT Miller. I like him a lot. Brock Besser, DeBrusk, Connor Garland, and Eric Brandstrom. Like those guys a ton. I think they're really good options. No ownership's going to them. And I like that quite a bit. I think they have the upside here. And looking at the numbers, it's a pretty good matchup from what I'm seeing here. Seattle on a home ice have been dead last in the league in expected goals against. They allow a ton of shots, a ton of high danger chances here. I think Vancouver can take advantage of that. And I like the spot quite a bit for that top line for sure. One of my favorite sneaky stacks of the slate for sure is going to be Vancouver line one. Last game on the slate here. This is surprising that I'm not seeing a ton of ownership go to them. Lightning and water don't mix. Sharks swim in water. Not a good day when these Sharks are about to get electrocuted here at home ice. Smash spot, late night hammer spot. Ownership is getting held in check due to these price points. Kucherov is super expensive. Guentzel is super expensive. I prefer Guentzel over Kucherov. You can't really play all three of them together. Just at these price points, they need to do a ton. Point, Kucherov, Guentzel, really good options. I prefer Guentzel and Point over Kucherov. But the second line, don't sleep on them with Cirelli, Brandon Hagel. I like that two-man stack quite a bit there. Victor Hedman, Darren Radish, McDonough, all good options in terms of D-men. Be careful how you stack these guys. I think Connor Geeky as well is a fine option if you're going with that second line stack. Probably don't play Point, Kucherov, and Guentzel together. It's super expensive. They need to do a ton, especially on a 12-game slate. Could they do it? Yes, but they probably all the goals need to come from that line to pay off those price points. I like one or two of those guys. I don't like playing all three together. So give me Point, give me Guentzel over Kucherov with one of those guys at the salary there. But really good spot here. Ownership's getting held in check due to those price points, but it's a really good matchup here. Sharks just abysmal, especially at home. I mean, over the last 10 home games, they've given up over 4 goals per game on average. Expected goals is way up there. They allow the third most shots on net as well. Terrible penalty kill at 76%. They give up the most power plays per game at home as well. And Lightning, second best power play on the road this season. So top power play for the Lightning is a smash here tonight. On the Sharks side, not getting to anyone here. Don't love it. Vasilevsky, I like as a spend up. I prefer him actually over Connor Hellebuck here, I think, just because I think the Sharks are going to fire more shots on net here than what the Ducks are. That's all 12 games. It was a lot. Like I said, Slate Plan is already live for SHIPIT Nation subscribers. If you're not a member yet, head over there. Use that promo code PGA100. Gets you $100 off any annual package out there. PGA just teed off today. First tournament, the Century of the season here. Our PGA squad with Tambo, Hoop, DGen, and the company and crew. We'll have you covered all the way through every slate, showdown, everything throughout the entire PGA season there. $100 off there. Or ShipItNation.com. Join now. Get all access for all sports that we offer, all 8 sports, plus the optimizer. But yeah, that's going to do it here for this quick hit here. For myself, Nadesify, good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those ShipIt Nation logos at the top. Let's ship it.